colonial stuff, as well as the archives of our people as well, our first scholars.
Yeah.
The same thing, that you just said. We may say that perhaps it's a wake up call.
Maybe the ancestors.
The ancestors are saying, "Wake up!"
Are showing us fire.
We are now tired of being sidelined all the time. So until Parliament, union buildings, until our court system changes to actually look into matters the African way, then
we get rid of these Roman Dutch laws and all of those.
We need to rid ourselves of that nonsense, because it's prohibiting our people from progression in terms of indigenous language being on board, indigenous knowledge being on board, indigenous way of life being on board. We are basically Black Europeans in Africa. That's who we are.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So with this young lady, hey, the first thing when I watched, when I read the article, as well as I watched the podcast with
the clip,
the clip with David Mashabela, I said, I agree with what David said. From the onset, white people were never interested in our identity. They were never interested in who we were, where we come from, and what was our. To them, we were just laborers. To them, we were just
invisible.
Invisible, we're just supposed to be on the other side of
don't be seen.
Can't be seen. We should be in squalor, and then we only come to work in their houses, work in their businesses, work in their farms, in their farms, in their mines, and so on. But after that, we go home with whatever peanuts that they were paying us for. So when Black people, opted to embark on joining, EDA, Democratic Alliance, which is very historical in being from the Democratic Party to the New National Party to whichever white governing party that was there back in the day.
Yes.
With a history like that, what made the people that are Black, that are Africans, that are in the DA, what made them think that the DA would actually accommodate them, their bodies, their minds, as well as their spirituality?
In their space.
In their space. So being that so-called progressive thinker, because you are detaching yourself from,
your roots,
and you don't care about,
people before you, your ancestors, they stood for, the people who brought you here.
You don't care about those things. You only care about progression in the model of, or the lens of white capital monopoly, or white imperialist and supremacist ideals, which is what the DA stands for.
Yes. Preservation of such.
There's nothing African related to them. Africans are just tools to them. It's like what I was telling my other traditional healer, co-workers. I said to them, did you guys know that PW Botha, the crocodile of apartheid, he used to consult to Black traditional leaders, but he under the apartheid regime, traditional healing was part of witchcraft, which was banned.
Yes.
So I'm bringing that conversation to this particular situation by saying that don't Black people that join the DA know that they are being manipulated for their minds, for their integrity, their intellectual,
for their numbers.
And there's nothing progressive about it. And I'm yet to see, the Democratic Alliance saying we are embarking on a decolonial project.
It will never happen.
It will never. They are never going to
in 1,000 years.
In 1,000 years, they will never say we are embarking on a decolonial project. We are now focusing on the African. We are focusing on the African who comes from a past that was caused into atrocity by our ancestors.
Our ancestors.
So until I'm yet. So unfortunately for this lady, she has actually, aggrieved as well as agitated her ancestors by where she is. She is the cause for what happened, because her ancestors...
And the timing was somehow unbelievable.
Unbelievable. You cannot.
Yes. In the middle of what we are doing.
What we are doing.
Ancestors said, let's deal with you.
Let's deal with you in the space that you are comfortable in. Unfortunately for her, that is the response that she would get on, even if it was in a boardroom. even if it was in one of the major banks, even if it was in London, even if it was in New York, she was going to receive the same response, which is very reprimanding. And because they are not reprimanding, on the basis that, look, if you had maybe felt that they are coming, you could have just nipped someone on the side and said, I'm
Yes.
coming back.
Yes.
It's not in that manner.
No.
This manner is very aggressive and very
confrontational.
and very anti-ancestor.
Yes.
So it's a matter of, if she had got up and said, yes, Jesus, praise God, and so on, do you think she would have
People
been
would have clapped hands for
they
her.
would have clapped hands for her, because that is the one
That is acceptable.
it's acceptable to the DA. And it's very I mean, things like this were bound to happen, because, as I said, ancestors are very edgy. The ancestors are tired of waiting. They're
Yes.
tired of being oppressed. They are tired of the silence that we have in these spaces about them. They are tired of being hidden. They are tired of being judged by our people, because there's judgment on ancestors on a high scale by black Africans
Who've been
who are very Eurocentric, and who don't care about going back to a proper identity. So for her, unfortunately, the DA spokesperson is a sacrificial lamb, because she will have to account to her ancestors in the end as to how did she end up in the space, and why was she in
where she has to fight against
against
herself, against her own people, her
own
ancestors.
people, whereby why was she there? Why was she there? I'm not saying that if she was in the ANC or EFF and so on, she would be better. Still, even those spaces alone, political parties are very toxic spaces, especially for abantwana bamadlozi. They are very, very toxic, because all these political parties have no space for abantu abadala. They don't have spaces for ancestors. They don't. Ancestors with them are just tools they use when they, as I said, they went to
Advance their
agendas, and to gain traction and to gain numbers, and to the closer they are to union buildings, the better. That's that. So ancestors are tired and are very, very, aggressive towards them not being properly represented. It's even worse. She's a traditional healer. She should have known. She should have done better. She should have done, if she knew that ultimately she will have a clash or a squabble with her ancestors from the beginning. She should have taken her time into saying, let me engage you as my ancestors into this space. If you
can I be able to continue this program
or not, if you're not
or
allowing,
how must I deal with it?
Exactly. Yeah, now she went in as she is. Next thing, it was Vuka, and then that's it.
Yes. Yes, we've got 1 minute, my brother, to wrap up. I think we need to continue. Just your closing words to especially to the young people, in terms of us continually as we continue, respecting our spirit, our ancestors.
What I could say to young people is that be brave enough to actually step into the space of wanting to learn about your identity. Be brave enough. There is no more a state power or policy that prevents you from that. And also, the liberties of our democracy must not just be enjoyed the Western way, they must be enjoyed the African way. So, for you, young people, in order to know where you're going, you need to be in tune with your ancestors, with your lineage, with your heritage, with your indigenous knowledge, and also be in tune with the people that you are with. If you are with people that are in the same space as you in terms of spiritual alignment, then you go far.